set whenever you're ready.
Okey-doke. We're not quite there yet, are we?
7:29.
Huh?
We're at 7:29.
7:29.
There you go, John.
We ready? Okey-doke. Here we go. City Council will come to order, please. Clerk, call the roll.
Schmidt, Whitaker,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
Baumgartner,
Here.
Ely, here, Godwin,
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Let's all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. You may be seated. Approval of minutes. Last meeting minutes were made available to you via email. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, they will stand approved as presented. Approval of the current financial report, once again, submitted by the Auditor's Office to all members of council. Any questions, additions, corrections, or motion to approve?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to approve the current financial report from the Auditor's Office. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes. Approval of the agenda. I have nothing to add or subtract, and I've not heard any request for an executive session at this time. So there is the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, public hearing. I only see two people on Zoom. There's another person on Zoom. And we have a couple of people here in the council chamber. So anyone wishing to address council may do so at this time.
Hello, Chief Thompson, Fire Chief for the City of Greenville. So you have on the agenda tonight two pieces of legislation regarding the fire department. I'm just going to take a few minutes to explain why the fire department requested legislation, and then I can answer any questions that you may have on that legislation. So the one piece is amending current ordinance regarding nuisance alarms, and the other one is new legislation allowing the fire department to charge inspection fees. So on the alarms, the current legislation for invoicing what would be called nuisance alarm allows businesses and other occupancies that have a fire alarm system 3 fire alarms in a year. And then after that, we start invoicing for what has been determined as nuisance alarms. I don't believe that is technically a nuisance alarm. You can have 10 or 12, one per month for someplace like Wayne Healthcare or the Brothers Home. Some may be mechanical issues, others human error, but by no means is it a nuisance. It's just part of our job. However, it's been cleaned up in front of you to address what would be a nuisance. So if we're going to, I can't remember exactly how we wrote that up, but if we have 3 or 4 in a short period of time, now it is becoming a nuisance, and that is what would be appropriate for invoicing those nuisance alarm fees. As far as the inspection fees on the other piece of legislation, I wanted to make it clear. Everyone's aware that we do annual inspections for commercial occupancies. We do not, and we're not going to with this legislation, charge for those inspections, nor will we charge for a reinspection as long as the violations have been cleared upon that reinspection. If we have to start coming back for a second, third, and fourth reinspection, which we've become accustomed to on certain places in the city over the last couple of years, that's when the inspection fee of $75 is going to kick in until we get voluntary compliance. So basically, it's just a small monetary incentive to get business owners or tenants to comply with the fire code and clear the violations than what is an agreed upon time, which is normally up to 30 days. Any questions on either piece of legislation?
What's the charges for the nuisance? Excuse me. What's the charges on the nuisance whenever you go there so many times? You have a.
For the fire alarms?
It's going to be, yeah.
I believe the legislation in front of you is for $250 per alarm that fits the legislation. Currently, it's structured, it's been this way for a long time. It's a minimal amount. After the third one, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe, are $25 fees. And then 8 and above are $100 each. So I can tell you, it's my opinion that with this new legislation, we will rarely invoice or charge a fee for nuisance for most of our businesses, to include the big ones that have more alarms than anybody else, just because they're not going to fill that small window. I'll give you an example. I'm not picking on, but Wayne Healthcare. It's a large facility, and we go there quite a few times in a given year. With this, and we just invoiced them for alarm, I believe 4 and 5, $25 each. Under this language, they wouldn't be invoiced, and the odds of us invoicing them in the year are slim. So it's not, by no means is it a moneymaker, nor are we trying to make money on false alarms. We're just trying to get people to fix their systems in a timely manner, or educate their people if it's a human error issue, which is sometimes the case in nursing homes, and treaty manor in particular is more of an education thing with the tenants than it is a malfunction of the system itself.
Okay. So question on that. So are you concerned at all that they might take, whoever's doing the alarm system might, instead of the fire department getting the call, the building owner would get the first call?
I don't believe so. And if that started happening, I think the fire code would kick into another gear that you're required to maintain that system by an alarm company.
Right. Because I know like the one fire sprinkler system I have, it's an option whether I can have both fire department and me called. I can have the option of just call me first. And I haven't done that yet. But I'm just thinking, would that be, so you have an old building and it's not being upkept, and now the building owner says, you know what, just call me, don't call the fire department. I'll go there. And then we're not responding quick enough if there was a problem.
On a commercial facility,
Yeah.
I believe that once we find out that's going on, we would intervene, probably with you as the building owner, to try and rectify that so we are being called.
Right.
It defeats the whole purpose of having a monitored alarm system on a commercial facility,
But that is an option I have. I can,
which is amazing.
I know. And I thought the same thing, and I didn't do that. I mean, I think I've only
Correct.
had that sprinkler system one time to call you guys, but
I know from my experience, I know most of the times when a business owner is being notified, it's usually because they're a key holder. So they're going to respond knowing that the fire department is going to get there and can't get into their building.
got you.
So it's like an automatic call for a key holder to come and meet us so they can unlock a door without us
Okay.
trying to figure out. I mean, most of the time we don't break windows just to see on a fire alarm, but
Right. So the whole intent of kind of both of these are to try to get some delinquent property owners to do what they need to do.
in a timely manner. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, with both these pieces of legislation, especially with the fire alarm, this is for the vast majority of people, it's going to save them money. So we're no longer invoicing the Wayne Healthcares of the world. This is only dealing, if you've got an acute problem and the fire department goes out and says, your system's malfunctioning. We were here yesterday, fix it. They come back the next week, fix it.
Same problem. Yeah.
And so we're putting a little bit bigger teeth on a shorter period of time. But the reality is you could have more false alarms under what we're revising than what you could under the old legislation.
Okay.
How many false alarms do you have a year?
Too many. I'm going to estimate they're probably 20 to 25% of our total run volume. And that is truly an estimate on my head.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update, Chief. Appreciate that. Anyone else wishing to address council may do so at this time. Well, seeing none, we will move the agenda and go on with our administrative reports. Mayor Wellman.
Yeah, I got one thing I want to bring up. It's getting nice outside, so everybody should be a little more safer. A lot of bikes, a lot of motorcycles. I'm sure Leon would have brought it up after a while. So it does every year. So other than that, this brings the attention that they're again this year and starting now, and they have been working sewer lining. There's DP&L is working on updates to their power lines, and they're at the intersection with McDonald's now, and there'll be some new poles put up, new wires run clear down to Wachani and on off into the west of Wagner. So there'll be a lot of work down through that area and the congestion that we already have. So be careful. There's the city will be doing quite a few ADA ramps on the corners, the sidewalk areas in town. So Vectren will be making more openings and updating their equipment and valves throughout the city. So be a lot of repairs going on in the city. So everybody, I think, just make it aware. Everybody be careful. So there'll be plenty of stuff going on, no doubt. And with that, pass. Thank you.
Just a quick question, Mr. Mayor. I got the letter from the energy company.
Oh, yeah.
You want to speak to that a little bit? Just again, let people know what's happening and
Yeah,
why.
thanks. Yeah, the letters just started going out. So a lot of people got.
I'll put your mic down so that you go out to the public.
Thanks. Yeah, the letters just went out from Vectren. Basically, the city at the last meeting, not the last meeting, but a month ago, passed aggregation contract for the AGE to be the middleman to contract the gas for the city, not for the city, but for the community. And the aggregation with many other cities to keep the rates low and to have a steady amount of cost to it. So that went into effect, the letter going into effect. And the letters that are going out is a letter that says, if you don't want to be involved in the aggregation, that you need to call or send in that letter and opt out. So if you're not under contract, and if you're already with the aggregation consortium, more or less, which is the company's going to be Volunteer, is who they're using, who we're in the community are using, and that's going to be the supplier of DP&L's distribution. So that's if you don't opt out, you'll be with Volunteer, continue on with Volunteer Energy. So the only reason you get out of that is if you're in a contract already, or if you're in a contract, or you opt out, you don't have to be in it. But sometimes I think there's some people that have found that there is some other places you can get a cheaper rate. I don't know why, but it wasn't available maybe at the time they were looking. So that's what we have is a 0.42. Remember that? Do you remember that?
4.1, I think it was.
41, 0.41 cents per cubic foot, something like that. I can't remember how it works now, but it's the cheapest they were able to get for a 2-year contract for the aggregation. So the letters are for you to opt out if you don't want to be involved.
Okay.
So
Again, thank you for that. I think it's important that we get it out to the people. And
if you have questions, don't hesitate to call the city.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely take your call and let you know how it works.
okay, thank you, sir. Safety Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things tonight. Number one, item 5 under Ordinances Resolution, which is enter into contract with ODOT and Mead and Hunt. So I just wanted to give a little update on that. So what that is a feasibility and safety study that ODOT is willing to pay 90% of. So it's a $75,000 study. So it'd be a 90-10 split. We would have to pay $7,500 on Schweitzer, 49 South, from Fair Street out to the Corp. So basically they're going to do traffic counts and take the fare into effect and all the businesses out there and come up with a plan for us to increase the safety on that street. Don't know exactly what it'll look like. That's what the study's for. But to help with pedestrians, curbs, sidewalks, lighting, and beautification of that area. So if you choose to pass that, that's what that's for. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of what was going on. We're still a few years down the road. Once we do this study, then it opens up some grant opportunities. And some of those grants are like a 95-5 split, which is pretty amazing. So that's what that one's for. And then the second thing, because the weather is getting nice, so our planning and zoning department has done a lot of focus on code enforcement. So we had purchased our iWork software here earlier in the year. Or I guess it was late last year, really kind of got it off the ground early this year with sending notices out. So at this time we have 85 letters out. 38 of those have been able to be closed. An array of different issues, code issues, mainly like junk in the yard, items of that nature, are probably the biggest ones. And we still have 47 open. And then we sent out an additional 60 letters today. So we're really focusing on trying to get the city cleaned up with code enforcement. And we have a running list, and we're going after kind of what we consider the worst problem properties first and working our way down. Our ultimate goal is within the next couple of years that we can have the whole city cleaned up and looking beautiful and my phone stops ringing. That's the goal. So I just want to let everybody know that, and then I'd be happy to answer any other questions on the legislation. And with that, I will pass.
So quick question, Ryan,
Yes.
on those code enforcement. So where are you getting that? Is it a citizen complaint? Is it a city employee giving you that? Fire department, police department, what?
So the top two are complaints. Complaint is number one. Number two, our new planning and zoning director, he dedicates 4 hours a week to that. So that's driving around, doing letters, entering in the system. With our new iWork system, we can take pictures, attach it to that. It automatically generates a letter by the address, and then he gets back, he can download, and we can pretty much instantly mail those out.
Awesome.
Good. That it?
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just one item this evening I wanted to speak to just briefly is on the ordinances and resolutions number 7. It was a change to the employee policy manual, and I wanted to speak because Diana Spittler's here tonight. She's been a big advocate of making this. So just to let the council know, I believe that currently our policy manual is in compliance, that we're not breaking any laws in what we're presenting. But there were some concerns that we could be more clear. As the city of Greenville, we want this to be a place, the best place, frankly, for people to work. And so when we get concerns from employees, we don't always act instantaneously, but we do listen. And so this was a concern that was raised to make some changes, just to add some language so that employees knew that if they felt that they were being discriminated or harassed in any way, they knew how to handle that. And so we added that language in. Again, I'll thank Ms. Spittler for making that request. And hopefully, if council passes those changes tonight, everybody in the city that works here will have a clear idea of what they should do. So thank you again, Diana, for recommending those changes. And with that, I will pass.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reaman. Moving on to City Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just have one item to bring forward tonight. Our state auditors are coming in this month to begin their audit. And as many of you are already aware, they ask us every year, would we like a formal entrance conference with them? Or would you prefer to waive that? And what they'll do is they'll just send each of you an email explaining what they're going to do in the audit. So I guess I would just like an informal vote from you, or just a yay or nay is what you would prefer to do.
I'll make a motion to do it as we've always done in the past, just have a not informal.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to not request a formal entrance conference from the state auditors. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, I pass.
You didn't tell them that what the entrance audit conference is about, what, 5 hours long? So something to that
Well,
effect.
since we've never done it, I don't know how long it will take, how long it would take, but
I really don't know, but I am sure it would be right up there, but close to watching paint dry, but
probably.
that's okay. All right, well, thank you. Moving on, committee reports. We have one committee report tonight out of the ad hoc committee, which is a committee looking into creating a joint fire district with Greenville Township and the city of Greenville. It's been ongoing, and they now have a report for us to consider.
To Greenville City Council from the Ad hoc Committee. The Ad hoc Committee met on March 30th, 2021 to discuss the proposals received from John D. Brewer and Associates Incorporated, Fire and EMS Consulting Services, the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, and Matrix Consulting Group to do a joint fire EMS district feasibility study for the city and township of Greenville. After discussion, it was decided to accept Proposal A from John D. Brewer and Associates in the amount of $11,750, split equally between the city and township, along with any other incidental expenses. The law director will prepare the necessary legislation for the April 6, 2021 council meeting. Sincerely, Jeff Whitaker, Chairman, Doug Schmidt, Member, and Doug Wright, Member.
Move to accept the committee's report.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to accept the committee's report. Discussion.
So is the township willing, if they come back, and are they willing to listen to the outside report, or is this a waste of money?
That's a good question.
Well, in theory, they're paying for half of it.
Yeah.
It's not as though we're just paying for all of it. So if they're going to waste their own money, I mean, they're spiting themselves at the
Okay.
same time.
Further discussion or questions?
May I ask a question?
Certainly.
How long has there been somewhat of a controversy between these two entities?
Longer than I've been here.
Well, the controversy goes way, way back. The mending is quite well in process. Would you agree to that, Chief Thompson? Over the years, the wound has significantly healed.
So you're telling me that you're beginning to play nice with each other?
Yes. Go ahead. Come on up, Chief.
It's always played nice.
The short answer is yes, ma'am. Over the last couple of years, we've made great strides with Greenville Township and blending our operations, both on fire and EMS. A couple examples, we now provide automatic mutual aid to each other on structure fires in the township and the city. And on the EMS side, council actually supported this, I believe it's been about a year ago, where we spent a considerable amount of money on upgrading our Quint to a ALS or advanced life support capable Quint company with heart monitors and other ALS equipment so that we could respond to more EMS incidents and support a Greenville Rescue to provide a better service throughout the community. So the two departments have made a lot of strides in the last couple of years working together more closer than we have in a long, long time.
Okay.
I can't speak about,
I understand, and thank
People
you for
above us.
clarifying that for me. I appreciate it.
yes, ma'am.
It's a learning process for me. Thank you.
Well, and again, I appreciate your delving into the situation as a new person, simply because There are rumors and rumors and rumors that are still floating out there that are misnomers and not actually correct. And so we're trying to keep things as above board as possible. So thank you for doing that. Okay, we have a motion on the table, correct, to approve the committee report. Further discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, and that legislation is prepared, so it automatically becomes item number 12 under ordinances and resolutions. Does that have an emergency clause?
Don't think so. Let me check. No.
Okay, all right. Okay, nothing further under ordinance and resolution, or excuse me, under committee reports. We move on to our ordinances resolution. We have 12 to consider tonight, so first one is a supplemental appropriations ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. This supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the general fund, GO bond retirement fund, and CIP fund in the sum as follows. OPWC Wagner Avenue Road widening, elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $10,813.52. These funds are needed for the 2021 OPWC loan payment. New equipment, capital improvement, landfill in the amount of $5,000. These funds are needed to replace the methane gas blower system. Professional services, GO bond retirement in the amount of $5,000. These funds are needed for payment of bond counsel fees in regard to the issuance of the salt barn construction bonds. Fire new equipment, CIP in the amount of $111,408.91. These funds are needed for the fire truck lease payment and were provided for in the 2021 distribution to CIP.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title second, third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And next, we have an ordinance adding to the codified ordinance section 1604.13, the city of Greenville.
An ordinance adding to the codified ordinance section 1604.13 of the city of Greenville. This ordinance amends the codified ordinance section 1604.13 to update the fees for commercial fire inspections.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Mr. Whitaker, excuse me, to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by title second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance adding to the codified ordinance section 1604.13 of the city of Greenville. An ordinance adding to the codified ordinance section 1604.13 of the city of Greenville.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner
Yes.
to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Next, we have an ordinance amending both codified ordinance, section 806.03B of the city of Greenville.
An ordinance amending both the codified ordinance section 806.03B of the city of Greenville. This ordinance amends the codified ordinance section 803.03B to update the fees for false fire alarms.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinance section 806.03B of the city of Greenville. An ordinance amending the codified ordinance section 806.03B of the city of Greenville.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Is that a typo? It says both,
I think so, yeah.
both the codified ordinance, both codified ordinance and what? Was there anything else? Huh?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, next we have a resolution accepting the M&T Excavating LLC bid for March waterline work project and declaring an emergency.
A resolution accepting the M&T Excavating LLC bid for the March Street Waterline Work Project and declaring an emergency. This resolution accepts the M&T Excavating LLC bid for the March Street Waterline Project. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution accepting the M&T Excavating LLC bid for the March Street Waterline Work Project and declaring an emergency. A resolution accepting the M&T Excavating LLC bid for the March Street Waterline Work Project and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes. Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director into contract with ODOT and Mead and Hunt.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation and Mead and Hunt. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with ODOT and Mead and Hunt for the rendering of professional services for a safety and feasibility study for State Route 49.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation and Mead and Hunt. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation and Mead and Hunt.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed vehicles.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicles. This resolution authorizes the disposition of no longer needed 2010 Ford Crown Victoria and 2000 Ford Taurus from the police department.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second, and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicles. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicles.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Are those going to be sold on Gov Deals or?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. Next, we have an ordinance amending the Employee Policy Manual, Section 1.02A and 5.06B regarding discrimination.
An ordinance amending the Employee Policy Manual of the City of Greenville, Section 1.02A and 5.06B regarding discrimination. This ordinance amends the Employee Policy Manual of the City of Greenville, Section 1.02A and 5.06B regarding discrimination and harassment.
Mr. Council President, I move we suspend the rules, give this ordinance second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to suspend the rules and read the resolution, the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance amending the Employee Policy Manual of the City of Greenville, Section 1.02A and 5.06B regarding discrimination. An ordinance amending the Employee Policy Manual of the City of Greenville, Section 1.02A and 5.06B regarding discrimination.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing application for grant for main park restrooms and declaring an emergency.
A resolution authorizing the application for a grant for main park restrooms and declaring an emergency. This resolution authorizes the application for a grant for main park restrooms through the Nature Works Grant Program. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the application for a grant for main park restrooms and declaring an emergency. A resolution authorizing the application for a grant for main park restrooms and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
See me? Yes, it's you. Hi, Mark.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing the filing of an application with ODOT for SFY and CY 2022 transportation grants.
A resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for SFY 2022 and CY 2022 transportation assistance grants. This resolution authorizes the filing of applications with ODOT for SFY 2022, CY 2022 transportation assistance grants for the Ohio Rides to Community Immunity Program.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for SFY 2022, CY 2022 transportation assistance grants. A resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for SFY 2022, CY 2022 transportation assistant grants.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for the 2021 Community Park Improvement Grant Program.
A resolution authorizing the filing of applications for the 2021 Community Parks Improvement Grant Program. This resolution authorizes the filing of applications for the 2021 Community Parks Improvement Grant Program.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion, Mr. Godwin, to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the filing of applications for the 2021 Community Parks Improvement Grant Program. A resolution authorizing the filing of applications for the 2021 Community Parks Improvement Grant Program.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Number 11, resolution moving the income tax filing date in the city related to COVID-19 and declaring an emergency.
A resolution moving the income tax filing date in the city of Greenville related to the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak and declaring an emergency. This resolution moves the income tax filing date from April 15th to May 17th, 2021 due to the COVID-19 outbreak. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
I have to read it real
Oh,
quick.
Gotta
I'm
read
sorry.
it.
My bad.
A resolution moving the income tax filing date in the city of Greenville related to the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak and declaring an emergency. A resolution moving the income tax filing date in the city of Greenville related to the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And item 12, which is resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with the John D. Prower and Associates Incorporated.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with John D. Brewer and Associates Incorporated. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with John D. Brewer and Associates Incorporated for the rendering of professional services for firefighting consulting services.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with John D. Brewer and Associates Incorporated. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with John D. Brewer and Associates Incorporated.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our ordinances and resolution. We have a couple items under new business. First of all, the annual joint meeting of the City Council and the Greenville Township Trustees. That traditionally has been the first meeting in May. For Mrs. Ely's edification, we have a joint committee together, and that's all the township trustees, the 3 trustees, and members of City Council. I'm not involved. And our clerk, Jessica Swan, starts the meeting out, calls it to order. They elect a chairman for that meeting, and then an additional person is elected in May to take office the following January. Now, why we do this in May, it's always been a tradition since I've been here, and that's when it's done. Of course, we did have an emergency a couple of months ago to fill the unexpired term of Mrs. Howdeshell and her passing. So then we will be doing, and it alternates between 2 council members and 1 trustee, and then the next year it's 2 trustees and 1 council member, and the board keeps switching back and forth. So we traditionally set that like at 7 o'clock on the first meeting in May. And if you would be so kind as to inform the township trustees and the clerk of the trustees association, or the township trustees, and advise them of that pending meeting. Any questions on that?
So that'd be May the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever the first meeting in May is, yeah.
Okay.
And this time we'll be electing a township trustee.
Okay.
I go off at the end of this
Right,
year.
right. You do. So you'll be replaced by a trustee. Okay. The next item, I asked Jessica to put this on, and we'd had some discussion about it at, I think, maybe the last administrative meeting, not yesterday, but the week before. And we had talked about earlier in the year, if you recall, maybe the January, February meeting, we would like to have a little more updates from some of you if you are participating as a representative from the City Council. You have been elected or nominated to serve on the Visitors Bureau Board, Architectural Review Board. I can't think of all of them right now. I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me, but and ask her, Jessica, also to verify the dates of those meetings. Now, I don't know whether they've all begun to pick back up yet or not. The boards, if you'd served on, because we kind of went dark with everyone else. And of course, we had nothing to report. But now as things begin to break, it would be nice if what we might, I'm suggesting that we do, I don't know whether council would, it's up to you,
Wave
whether
to
you
him.
want to adhere to this or not.
Wave to him.
Say hi, John.
Whatever. But that we kind of go down the list and we have them listed. Where is our committee assignments? Appointment list. Community Improvement Corporation, CIC, we have 2 members, Mr. Godwin and Mr. Wright. And then, you know, that always meets in the 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if something happens that you run into a problem with meeting, maybe we need to look at who the representative might be. Community Action Partnership Board or CAP Board, and excuse me, that was Mrs. Ely has stepped in that capacity. The meeting is the second Tuesday of the month quarterly. And have you gotten any information from that?
I haven't.
Did you get any information?
I'm still waiting on a call back.
You're still waiting on a call back. Okay. Soon as we find something, we'll pass it along to you.
Thank you.
Also, the Council on Aging Board, we don't know when that group meets. You're still trying to find that out
Waiting
too?
on a call back for that too.
Okay.
Thank you.
So as
Jessica.
soon as we find out, we will. Main Street Greenville Incorporated Board, 1 member, and that meets Says Tuesday, bi-monthly, January, February, April, et cetera, 7:30 a.m. Mr. Whitaker, is that,
We've been meeting,
have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
as has the Dark County
Visitors Bureau, okay,
as has Architectural Review Board. We
okay,
have a meeting, I believe, next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
okay. So, you know, if you could, at some point in time, put together a little, kind of a roughly just a couple of sentences of what's happening or what's been going on,
Okay,
report to the council, I think that would be good.
yeah, for all three? or-
Yeah, what, you know, I won't make you do 3 separate meetings. You can try to lump them all together if you
Okay.
want to.
And you want to do that next meeting or?
Well, we can start with, of course, we have met at a joint meeting with the CIC, but still we need to kind of bring council up to date with CIC, even though they get the minutes.
Right.
But Mr. Godwin or Mr. Wright, if you can prepare something. And then Mrs. Ely, if we ever find out when your committees or groups meet, we'll get you. The other one is the Volunteer Firefighters Dependent Fund Board and 2 members of council. And that's one of the situations which we hope you never meet, because that's for firefighters who may be lost in action, actually, and pension for their families, et cetera. So that is something that we hope never occurs, but that's Mr. Rogers and Mrs. Ely. So that's it as far as that piece of the new business. Just again, to call that thing to your attention, since we started out with it in the first part of the year, and then it kind of went by the wayside, and now we're hoping to get started back up again. Yes,
Mr. President, may I ask a question, please?
sure.
Okay, so once we get input from the committee that we're representing
Mhm.
the council on, is that a committee report that is filed with Jessica? Or
It's
do I-
not a committee report. It
It's
would
not
be
a-
nice if you had something
It's just a,
in a little writing, just a couple of notes or something that could be filed. Yeah, just as committee, you know,
okay, just a committee, just reporting on action that we've observed or done
as an individual,
as an individual.
that you're representing council
All right,
on that.
thank you for that clarification.
Okay, good. Anything else? Any questions on that? Okay. Nothing under old. Have some communications.
We received the CIC minutes from January 27th, 2021. We received the monthly reports of March from the Income Tax Department, Fire Department, and Street Department.
Anything else? Okay, let's call down the council, please.
Whitaker,
I just want to just make mention, I want to commend the Greenville City Fire Department and the Greenville Township Fire Department and EMS for their willingness to come together and talk about a consolidation of the 2 departments. And the way I see it, the better we can provide service for that entire area and be as efficient and monetarily responsible with it, the better. So with that, I pass.
Wright,
Is the Woodman part of the zonings? I'll tell you what, I'm getting tired of seeing this. We want the city to be looking beautiful, but we have somebody that I think does it on purpose. And we need to do something.
Can I tell them where we're at? That's okay, right? So we've met with them, discussed some of our concerns with this property. Right now, we've agreed to get the big tree cleaned up, get all the mess cleaned up, get the tractors moved to the side, get the wood stacked up neatly. So those were the start of the situation. And I'll let the wall director intervene here if he would like, but we don't without an ordinance saying you can't stack wood in your front yard, our hands are a little bit tied on the wood portion. And I am willing to look at an ordinance like that, but it's going to fall back on council. Was that accurate?
To an extent. And so it's got to fall under the nuisance. And the other thing is, so the woodman, if you want to call him that, has been getting letters stating that he's in violation of what we believe are our nuisance abatement codes in Greenville. Because of those letters, he's come in to meet with us. He's made some concessions. We still have a hierarchy list of properties that we're looking at and dealing with. And the woodman is on the list. He's gotten the letter. We want him to clean up some stuff, but there are other properties that we're also a little bit more focused on in terms of expending resources and fixing problems for the city of Greenville. So that's kind of where we're at.
I think this has went on too long. And people that drive through Greenville, drive around Greenville, they always look at it.
I understand that, but it's also hard to tell people that live on 3rd Street and 4th Street that have neighbors that have criminal activity coming out in every day, that the city's going to put its resources towards the wood guy and not helping them out with their situation. So the wood guy is part of the problem. He's on the list. We're dealing with him. It's not being ignored, but there is a hierarchy of when we're expending resources and asking council to put money forward. Do you want to spend $50,000 to have lawsuits against the wood guy to clean up his front yard? Or do we want to take care of 5 other properties? I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
How long has this been going on? He's threatened us before. I think it's went far enough. That's the worst site in Greenville. How many places do we let stack wood up all around the front of the house, on the porch, have tractors sitting in the front yard?
And again, we've sent him letters saying that he's not in compliance. And the question is the funds that we're going to expend to do that.
Okay. Put that on my calendar. I'll pass.
Baumgartner.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Russ for coming up. It's always great to see a department head here and explaining some of the stuff. And, you know, it's sometimes we're not sure of the purpose and stuff. So I think you explained it well. And then also we have made big strides. So thank you for, and I think that's since you came on with the repairing the relationship with the township. So thank you for doing that. And yes, the wood guy is a problem, but we have taken care of several other properties that, you know, in the corner of Front and Central, that house is now down. We've got the drug house that was on 12th Street sold, nuisance abate that, and it's going to get fixed up. I know the person that bought it, and the house on Plum Street or Hall Street that was vacant for 30 years. Gone. So we are making strides, and I think our law director is part of that reason. So we can't eat the whole apple in one bite. So just keep eating bites of the apple and we'll get this fixed up. So with that, I pass.
Ely.
I pass. Thank you.
Godwin.
Pass.
Rogers.
Yes, back last year, I think it was, we received a letter from a person on North Broadway that was talking about the noise from whether it be motorcycles or vehicles that had loud exhaust and et cetera. And I've noticed in my own house, you know, since we're getting warmer weather and we can open up windows and doors, there is a lot of noise, and that noise really carries and reverberates over the city. And so, you know, if we could, you know, get something done with that, that would be a great help, I'm sure. And also the cemetery board meets on the last Tuesday, I'm sorry, of the month at 7 p.m. And as far as the cemetery, I can give a little bit of report on that. We had some damage to our storage building out there, and it's been fixed now and so forth. And the next project that we want, and, we would like to see some more help maybe from the city, maybe with the COVID relief funds or something like that, would be a possibility to, our backhoe that we dig the graves with has to sit outside because that storage building is not large enough. And we're putting a lot of maintenance cost into repairing the hydraulic hoses and et cetera because of the weather, beating on them all the time, whether it be cold or hot weather or whatever. So I'd like to see, maybe a little more help on that. And the township has, whatever the city can give us, if it's $2,000 or whatever, the township matches it then, since we're a combined organization. With that, I pass.
President Burkett.
At this time, I just hope everyone had a good Easter time. We're not that far from Easter. And I know some schools are on break now, and they'll be back in session. So again, as the weather gets nicer, be careful and be kind, I guess, is one of the things that we have a tendency to get a little bit short by being cooped up and wanting to get out and take off and go. And if somebody gets in our way, God forbid, we want to run them over. So be careful and be courteous. That's all I would ask. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Stereo. Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adjourn. Call the roll, please.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Thank you all and good night.